Here with breaking news right not long after I did my broadcast regarding the my regular broadcast on Wednesday. I was just informed of this. The pro-abortion amendment that had gathered enough signatures to be on the ballot has been rejected due to apparently the canvassers not providing identification. This is just now breaking news. This is a letter by John Thurston regarding this issue. I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of this letter, and I displayed it here as the image here. Dear Ms. Cowles, the Secretary of State is officially charged with on the Arkansas Constitution to review statewide initiatives and referendum petitions. The first part of our review ensure that the sponsors compile with all state statutory requirements for submitting a petition. Because you failed this first step, it's my duty to reject your submission. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and read again this rejection letter by Secretary of State John Thurston, who is a Republican, by the way. I've determined that you failed to comply with Arkansas Code 7-9-111 F2. That provision requires the sponsors to submit a statement identifying the paid canvassers by name and a signed statement indicating that the sponsor has provided a copy of the most recent edition of the Secretary of State's Initiatives and Referendum Handbook and explain the requirements under Arkansas laws for obtaining signatures on the petition to each paid canvasser before the paid canvasser solicited signatures. In McDaniel versus Spencer 2015, the Arkansas Supreme Court expressly found this requirement to be constitutional. You did not submit any statements meeting this requirement. By contrast, other sponsors of initiative petitions complied with this requirement. Therefore, I must reject your submission. Even if your failure to comply with this code did not require me to reject your submission outright, it would certainly mean that signatures gathered by paid canvassers in your submission could not be counted for any reason. You submitted an affidavit attesting that the total number of signatures submitted was 101,525. As courtesy to you, I instructed my office to determine the initial count of signatures gathered by paid canvassers in your putative submission. That number was 14,143. After removing those signatures and assuming your attestation is valid, 87,382 volunteer signatures remain. 3,332 signatures less than required, 90,704. Therefore, even if I could accept your submission, I would be forced to find your petition insufficient on its face for failure to obtain the 90,704 signatures. So, 87,000 signatures were gathered by volunteers. 14,000, of course, many of those volunteers are financially helped. 14,000 was done by apparently payment. So, folks, they failed. They lied about their canvassers. Now, I myself have talked about this. Now, this is let me go to Conduit. Let me go to Conduit News if I can, because they have screenshots of, my wife wanted me to tell people this because this is, again, just breaking news. Conduit has the screenshots. Here's the copy of the net letter, and this is from Samantha Boyd, Secretary of State, for technicality issue. And the technicality issue is they didn't provide the identification for canvassers. Now, I actually did a video about how much money these people were making, how much they were having to be paid, and I still stand by it. It's still a failure of Chris Caldwell. They spent $210,000. And let me see if I can find where it shows this video. So here's what declined to sign only spent $32,000. Had they spent more money, they could have prevented from getting the signatures in the first place. And then here it is, $220,000 spent by the fake group Arkansas for Limited Government. And this is on my video, Why Pro-Abortion Bill Passed and Declined to Sign Failed, Part 2 of 2. So I'll make this as an update to that. So yeah, Chris Caldwell still failed, but I think he's going to get saved because, well, at least lots of children will be saved because the corrupt Arkansas for Limited Government group failed to provide identification. They were supposed to give again, they're supposed to have signed the affidavit and show this. This is all supposed to be done beforehand. So I'm kind of wondering why they didn't just get busted for that in the first place. Say, hey, wait a minute, you haven't provided your canvassers ID. They should have been stopped beforehand. That's really what should have been done. And we know the Arkansas Times and a lot of the leftists are trying to proclaim that somehow, this is another copy of the same letter again on Conduit News. I'm just liking them. But yeah, this is again breaking news. The pro-abortion amendment, Arkansas Abortion Amendment of 2024 has failed. It has failed due to them not identifying canvassers, which other ballot initiatives did do. As far as I can tell, the medical marijuana one, they complied. And as far as I can tell, I don't know what other signature ballot initiatives passed. The casino one, as far as I can tell, there's been no problems with them. So anyway, that's it. Great news to those who took an effort to try to stop this from getting on the ballot, who actually made an effort, unlike Chris Caldwell. And I think maybe our efforts may have paid off in another way, because we may have forced them to have to depend on paid canvassers. But in any event, great job, folks. Great job, conservative efforts. Great job, real conservatives. But we still have a long way to go. Hopefully, what this will do is cause Chris Caldwell to give the $200,000. Sorry, folks, this is what I meant to share. So this is the pro-abortion people. They spent $220,000. They had $120,000 left, probably to push for the amendment. They may use that for lawsuits. But here's the group, Stronger Arkansas, and this was supposed to be the group that was supposed to stop this from gathering signatures. They have $202,000, and the chair is Chris Caldwell. There's his signature. He needs to give that money back. He really needs to give that money to the people that went out and oftentimes on their own spent money and effort to try to stop this from gathering signatures, from getting signatures to be on the ballot. So I'll give an update. I'll see in the Arkansas Ethics Commission what he's going to do. Chris Caldwell doesn't need the money. He's been appointed to the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, even though he's never really displayed any expertise on that issue, but he's been rewarded that for being a campaign manager for Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And I think he's kind of being set away from the party, because I think a lot of people in the Republican Party are sick of him for his many antics that he's done. But anyway, I've got to get to work. Y'all check me out at Just Sorry Angle on Rumble, where you've seen some of the efforts I've fought on this issue, and YouTube, Keep Arkansas Legal. Also, of course, on Facebook, Twitter, KennyNLR_NLR. And I sent this out to various organizations so they can see what all happened with this. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day.